Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studio, it's the Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Thanks for being with us, America. We're so glad you're here. My co-host today, #1 best-selling author and host of the Dr. John Deloney Show, Ramsey personality, Dr. John Deloney. We're taking your calls here at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. I should probably wait, but I'm not going to because I'm just really, really excited. If you happen to be a fan of or even slightly interested in Jordan Peterson, Dr. Jordan Peterson, his podcast on YouTube and his podcast out there. He has a really great guest that came out today. Dr. John Deloney's on there for an hour and 48 minutes and did not say a thing to get himself fired. So it is a great podcast, and it'll be a lot of fun. These two intellects hanging out together, I'll watch and get some popcorn and just sit there and just wish I was smart as 1/4 of either one of them. But I'll hang out and be watching as a fanboy of both of you. Congratulations. That's a neat hit.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, it was very, very hospitable, and it was a fun. I miss sometimes the academic gymnastics that I got to do in my old job, and so it was fun just to talk in circles and have a good time.
I love it. All right, again.
Brilliant mind, man.
Yeah, he is. Dr. John Deloney on Jordan Peterson's podcast today. It hit just a few minutes ago or earlier today. So you can watch it on YouTube, the full thing. That's one way he puts it out there, and he puts it out in podcast form all over the place as well. So however you choose to consume, we invite you to do so. We'll give Jordan a big push. He's speaking for us this year at Summit, our Entree Leadership Summit event here in May at our for leadership team and for real estate for small business people. There'll be some real estate people there, but Dr. Deloney and Jordan are two of our speakers on that lineup, along with Malcolm Gladwell and myself and several others. So it's going to be quite a knockdown, drag-out lineup. Going to be a lot of fun. Thomas starts off this hour in Franklin, Tennessee. Hey, Thomas, how are you?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Better than I deserve, sir. How can we help?
I just had a quick question about what to do with parents and possible nursing home and them wanting to divide up the farm, and didn't know if that was a good option or if they should just wait till they might need the money to help pay medical bills.
The reason for dividing up the farm is what?
Well, my dad wants to do it before they might end up in a nursing home. He's wanting to give his family the farm. Before, he's worried about the nursing homes taking his farm is basically what it is.
Okay. Bad news. He has the money to pay for nursing home. He gets to pay for the nursing home.
Yeah, he's probably got $200,000, I think.
Yeah. How old is
in the
he?
bank.
How old is he?
80.
Okay. So let me tell you, there's only two kinds of nursing home. Nursing home you pay for, and welfare nursing home called Medicaid that is for poor people.
Yeah.
Your dad don't qualify. He's not poor people.
No.
Okay.
I agree.
And no amount of splitting up the farm qualifies him for welfare, nor is he a man who would have ever signed up for welfare.
True.
Nor does he want to be in a welfare Medicaid nursing home, by the way.
No, I agree.
Okay, so let's just start figuring out how we're going to pay for this and start allocating some cash that way. How big's the farm?
About 150 acres.
Okay, so what do you think the market value of it is?
Well, a lot of stuff around here has been selling for probably $20,000 an acre.
Okay, so like $3 million.
Probably, yes, sir.
Okay, and he's owned it a long time?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Here's what you guys need to do. All right, number one, you guys need to sit down with an estate planner, and here's what they're going to explain to you. And it's a fairly simple idea, okay? If he dies today and you inherit the farm and you turn around and sell the farm within 6 months, your taxes are zero.
Okay.
if he deeds the farm to you and then he dies, your taxes are zero because your basis in the farm at the time you inherit anything is the market value of it when you inherit it. And so if you inherit it at $3 million, you and your brothers and sisters, and you sell it for $3 million within 6 months, you have zero taxes because it's called a stepped up basis. Your basis for tax purposes, as if your cost basis, is market value at the time of death. You follow me?
Yes, sir.
If instead he deeds it to you prior, your basis of a gift, which is what that is what he paid for it, which was next to nothing. So we just created taxes on $3 million for no reason. I would not do that.
Okay.
I would receive it at death.
Okay.
Much more efficient. Much better off.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but you need to sit down with an estate planner and lay out what he wants to have done, and he needs to write it down, and that's called a will. And you're freaking 80 years old. Get your will done.
Absolutely.
Seriously, okay? It's just a responsible thing to do. And then the second thing you do is you sit down with an investment advisor and you start studying nursing homes as a concept, because there's a vast array of price ranges out there and services available and ways to do things. This guy's a millionaire. If we sell off $300,000 worth of this land now to pay for his care, his best bet from quality of life and cost is probably just hire a nurse and stay in the house.
Okay.
24/7. In-home care. That's what you do when you're a millionaire. Okay?
Yes, sir.
You get to stay in your house, and they come and take care of you there. It's a higher quality of care. It's a one-on-one care. They don't have 7 beds they're caring for. They're caring for 1. And it's more expensive, but it's less expensive because you're not providing housing and food. You're already providing that. And so it actually ends up being more efficient and a higher quality situation for a millionaire to do that. But it's trouble on you guys because you got to keep hiring the nurses and make sure they're coming in there and taking care of him, checking on him and all that. But it's still the best deal. Anyway, you could do that, or you can check out nursing homes, start shopping, finding out what they actually cost, and go, I got $200,000. Before, when I burn through that, what's the next thing we're going to do? And lay out a game plan, for God's sakes. But
hey Mike,
divvying up the farm's not your plan, dude.
Yeah, and Mike,
okay. Thank you much.
Y'all need to make sure that y'all as a family want this land. I live out there in Tennessee in the hills, and man, there's a lot of, we're going to keep this forever, and the kids don't want it forever, and it just gets messy.
Yeah, what are we going to do with it upon death?
That's right.
Maybe Thomas, he lives here, maybe he wants it.
Maybe he wants it, right?
Maybe brothers and sisters don't. Well, let's figure out how we're going to buy each other out upon death.
Yep.
But it all needs to happen post-death for stepped-up basis, and you need a plan with some expertise speaking into it. Estate planner, and then study nursing homes. This is The Ramsey Show.
Life is full of firsts. As the first and longest-serving Christian health cost-sharing ministry, CHM has shared medical expenses for its members since 1981. We believe you should have the freedom to focus on your health while being supported by a community of believers, giving you the opportunity to create many more firsts.
Not exactly what the cool kids are talking about, but let's talk about estate planning and nursing homes for just a second, okay? Because the cool kids got parents and grandparents that are talking about it. Number one, you don't get free nursing home unless you're poor people. And if you lie and hide your stuff to act like poor people, that's called fraud. And they're really tough on it, by the way. They will look back 5 years. You move everything out of Grandpa's name into your name, and then you stick Grandpa in a Medicaid nursing home. They're going to look back 5 years. If they find it was 4 years and 9 months, you move the farm into your name, they're going to come back, get the farm, because you defrauded the government. You lied. Let's just be real clear. Nursing home has a different place in our psyche. And Thomas kind of brought this up. He used the phrase that a lot of people phrase, I'm afraid the nursing home's going to get all my money. No one says that when they go to the car dealer because they're trading money for a car. No one says that when they're going to a restaurant because they're trading money for someone to cook their food for them. No one says that when you go to a hotel because they provide you a warm bed. But when it's a nursing home, suddenly they're a bunch of crooks. No, they're providing a service, taking care of you when you are your least attractive, by the way, and in the most horrible of situations. And they're providing a service, and you get to pay for it like you do for everything else. They are not crooks. They are not ripping you off. They are providing us. You don't say about the hospital, hospital's going to get all my money. You're like, no, please keep me from dying. Same thing is true in the nursing home. So first thing is you don't get to dodge this bullet. Second thing is once you're 60 years old, unless you've got millions of dollars, you should get long-term care insurance, which is nursing home insurance. It covers good policies, cover in-home care, which I was discussing earlier, or out of care. Now, here's the thing. In like most states, in-home care would be like $50,000 a year, roughly. Most nursing homes states are going to be $80,000 to $100,000 a year, give or take. Okay, so just plan on that. But here's the thing you can plan on. By the time you get to the nursing home, sorry, but I'm just helping you with the statistics, not your little feelings. By the time you get to the nursing home, you're at the end. Statistically, you will last 2.4 years. If you break a hip, 3 months, statistically. Okay? So the average nursing home stay is 2.4 years, average. That means some stay longer, but nobody stays 24 years in a freaking nursing home. So the nursing home's not going to get $3 million from you.
All right.
They're not going to get that much, okay? They're going to get $50,000 to $100,000 a year, depending on what you sign up for and that kind of a thing, for caring for you in your last days, when you are your least attractive, so shut up. Seriously, okay? So plan it out. And long-term care insurance does not cover long-term. It covers long-term care for 2 to 3 years. So it'll cover you for the averages. So if you do a 10-year nursing home stay, your long-term care insurance is going to run out, and you're going to be into your assets.
You've been answering this question for years. Why do people have this feeling? I have a hypothesis, but I may be wrong. Why do you think people are so adverse to nursing homes?
I have a weird answer. It's probably going to get me a bunch of hate.
Okay.
But I'm going to do it anyway.
Okay.
Because you just put me on the spot.
I'll follow up with mine. Yeah. I'll join you.
If it was me.
Yes.
And you're going to spend my last $300,000 on Dave, it feels selfish, and I'm going to die anyway. It feels like a waste.
So I'm your.
Is that right? I mean,
no.
I'm just being real. So if it's me, that's how I'm going to feel. If it's old man Papa Dave, and I'm 82 years old, 88 years old, whatever I am, right?
Ain't no way you're living
I'm going to feel like, hey, I ain't got anything anyway. Just cook some carrots and put me out in the backyard. I mean, it's good. It's just like I don't want to spend a bunch of money on this.
On the last few years?
Because it feels wasteful to me. That's just my personal emotions. I don't know if everybody else mirrors that or not.
See, I was thinking of it more as the kid of the adult.
Oh, trying to get the money.
Well, thinking, if I know you got $300,000, I've already spent my portion in my head on, I'm going to pay this off, and then junior's going to go to college. What do you mean you're going to spend that on this kind of care?
Yeah.
And then it becomes, it's my money versus that's the money that you set aside to care for yourself.
Yeah, if you've got a relative that has entitlement syndrome onto your stuff, called they've already spent your inheritance and you ain't even kicked the bucket yet, then that could cause a problem in this discussion too. But I don't usually run into that.
No,
usually it's mom and dad.
How much of it is?
I can't tell you. It's number of times I had a call and they already transferred the land.
Ah, man.
And they're like, yeah. And, Mama, she talked to her friend at the Bridge Club who told her to transfer her house into our name. and they're calling me from North Egypt somewhere, right? Some out in the middle of nothing, and they're going, "Oh my gosh," and I'm going, "You just transferred your only asset, which is a $150,000 house that you paid $22,000 for in 1976,
and now you're paying taxes on 130
and
grand.
now you're going to pay taxes on all that gain because your mother took tax advice from the idiot at the bridge club, and this missed out on the stepped-up basis." And
How much of it is?
They don't want the government to get is what that was.
No, let me say it this way. So let's pretend you're my dad. I would have some deep inside sense of it should probably be me taking care of him.
Oh, guilt.
You should probably be at my house. And the fact that I've got to outsource that is going to be, I'm going to be extra on top of it, coming over the top of my own guilt and my own shame.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just me.
Yeah. And there's this whole thing, and then we Christianize it and say, honor your mother and father, which as if you caring for them instead of a professional caring for them is more honoring.
Oh, yeah.
Really, give me a break.
I actually taught that in Sunday school this week to the adults class about honoring father and mother. What does that actually mean, and what does it look like to care for aging adults? And somebody brought up a great point. They said honor is a part of it, and care is a separate part of that conversation. And I never pulled that apart.
Yeah, we do confuse the two when we want to, especially if we want to over-spiritualize it.
Want to over-guilt somebody.
Yeah, we if we're over-saved. Yeah. So, there you go. Yeah.
Unless you're undersaved, like James.
Tell you, we're gonna get those emails for sure. All right, hey guys, it's not Friday, it's Monday, November the 21st. But here at Ramsey, Black Friday starts right now. Head to RamseySolutions.com. Get your early access to do our best deals of the year. Prices as low as $7. No, inflation is not taking place at RamseySolutions.com. We are doing deflation, lower prices for real.
I saw that today. You're lowering the prices on my books.
Didn't go up, but we've cut John's book to $10.
Out on my books.
That's the first time it ever happened to me. It was insulting. Does that insult you?
I
was like, my new Baby Steps Millionaire, #1 bestseller, just came out in January. They already cut it to $10.
I did the math on what I was going to get if it sold at full price. So I was surprised. But
this is all personal now.
I mean,
I was just insulted on the general premise that my book was cheap. You're worried about your wallet.
That's right.
All right. Questions for Human conversation cards. Great for the holidays. Bad news. The Christmas version, John told me a minute ago, is completely sold out. Is that right?
Christmas version's out, but we have a few New Year's cards left, and these are for helping you
have a conversation with your awkward friends and adults.
Yes, but also
relatives.
Get into the new year, man, with some intentionality this year.
Yeah. All right, let's check in on Blinds.com. Find out for yourself why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. Free samples, free shipping, new promos they run all the time. You'll save even more. I don't know if we got time to do this. Let's try it.
All right, today's question comes from Bill in Rhode Island. I'm 37. I found myself in a lucky spot. 3 years ago, I was making around 50 grand. Now I'm clearing over 120 as a cloud engineer. Don't even know what that is. My wife and I combined make about 180. For people like us, it's a bit overwhelming. We have student debt, which we are attacking hard. We have recently been writing checks towards that debt that we used to make up for an entire month. My question is, how do you psychologically process this amount of money growth and don't feel shaken up when paying off large sums of debt?
We're going to do this after the break. It's a good question.
Great question.
I don't want to answer it in 14 seconds. Probably should have waited till after the break. But now we can tease you through the break. You know you want the answer to this. How do you psychologically adjust to making a buttload more money?
Yeah.
It's not by selling $10 books. This is The Ramsey Show. If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit. whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, host of the Dr. John Deloney Show, featured on the Jordan Peterson podcast this week, is my co-host. Quite an introduction at every break. Yeah, okay. So, Blinds.com. Let's go back again and read this. Our question of the day from Blinds.com, the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. Always use the promo code Ramsey when you get there. Now, do it again.
All right, today's question comes from Bill in Rhode Island. Bill says, I'm 37, and I really found myself in a lucky spot. Just 3 years ago, I was making around $50,000, and now I'm clearing over $120,000 as a cloud engineer.
Rain dancer.
He's a rain dancer. Correct.
Just making sure you know what that is.
My wife and I combined make about $180,000, and to be honest, for people like us, man, I hate that language, but I know it. I feel it in my guts. It's a bit overwhelming. We have student debt, which we are attacking hard, and we have recently been writing checks towards that debt that used to be what we made for an entire month. My question is, how do you psychologically process this amount of money growth and don't feel shaken up when paying off large sums of debt? I also know more is coming, as my wife and I are committed to not allow I'm not even at a management level, which on average comes with a 30% increase. My wife and I are committed not to allow our growth and income to become the life sucker I've heard about on this show. I get this in my bones because I grew up with not a lot, and money was a big struggle at my home. And Dave, you and I've come to you for wisdom on this, because money was for those people, and vacations were what those guys did, and those shoes were and those cars were for them. And it's bizarre finding yourself in those shoes and then saying, what do I do? Because I'm not them. I'm one of those, right?
I think there's
been tough on me.
There's two things you got to process there. One is, am I worthy of this?
And he's got that language. I just got lucky.
Yeah, is all that in there? And so, you got to walk away from that part of it. And then the second part is kind of, I think, more, maybe even more what he's asking about, but he doesn't realize it. You do have to psychologically adjust to more money. I mean, it's a thing. I mean, we spend more on coffee at Ramsey per month for the team here than I used to make in a year. I have to psychologically adjust to that. I mean, when I sit down and I see that on the P&L, it still simultaneously pisses me off, scares me, makes me feel proud, right?
Exactly.
All at the same time.
Yes.
All at the same time. I'm like, what? And, oh, God! And, well, I guess I can do that. It's like, it's like simultaneously, right? And so, God. But it's zeros. It's emotional. And the only way I have found for that part of it, not the identity part, but the part of just the shock of the zeros, of I spend more on blank than I ever made in a year, which is kind of what he said. Right. We just sent off more to Sally Mae than I ever made in a year before, or a month before, or whatever. It is the only way you get used to it is you do it more. You live in it more. I mean, so somebody that has lived with a $300,000 income for 10 years is more psychologically adjusted to that than someone who's lived with it for 3 months.
That's right.
And so that's normal. So that will solve itself. And you got to be careful because you can get to taking it for granted kind of a thing. And not counting your blessings and all of those sorts of things, not feeling grateful for all of it.
Like now you deserve
Now
this.
I deserve 300. What do you mean just 300?
That's right.
Never even solved 300. I used to 300 pennies,
Yeah.
But no, I am. But then the second part of it is, are you worthy? And you have to. That's a spiritual walk and a psychological walk to say, okay, what makes me worth something in the marketplace? Is it God loves me more? Well, no. He loves poor people as much as he loves rich people. And he loves rich people as much as he loves poor people, for those of you that are socialists. And so he loves everybody. And it doesn't, you don't love one kid that's talented more than the kid that's not talented.
Sure.
They're just all my kids. I've got, everybody's got a spectrum of them, and so that's part of it. So God, it's not a God's love thing. He's not blessing you beyond someone else. So what is it that's causing the money? It's you're doing something that's worth more to society. It's an economic transaction. And once you kind of separate that out from your spiritual worth or your psychological worth, and then some idiot from the old neighborhood will say something like, "You've gotten too big for your britches."
Oh, yeah.
Like you noticed. Yeah, I've been putting on a little weight, liking donuts, but yeah, I had to change britches a time or two, but that wasn't what they were meant.
That's right.
They weren't talking about my waistline. They were talking about
you're fancy now.
Yeah, you're fancy now. And I've had that happen actually on this show. You go back and listen to this show, if you could get a tape of it from 20 years ago. I've been on there 30 years. It sounds ridiculously exactly the same. Like the same level of boldness, the same level of carrying on, the same level of whatever, same level of kindness and compassion when someone's hurting, the same level of in your face when you're stupid. And yet it never fails that someone comes along and they go, I used to listen to you, but now that you've gotten big, now you changed. Well, I didn't change, honey. You go back and listen to other shows. You're the one changed. So it's interesting.
I've had to get rid of, for people like us, language, like he writes about in this question, because I had pigeonholed myself as
identity.
It's an identity, yeah. And you gave me some wisdom early on that has really been important for me. In fact, just this morning, I was talking to Hank about it, my 12-year-old. You said when you're making this transition, remember ratios. And that's been very important for me in that, man, if we could scratch together, Sheila and I, if we could scratch together enough to get some spaghetti every day for the week, man, that was great, right? Yeah. And then we went out with a couple from work the other day, and the bill came. And I thought that I used to be a lot of groceries, right? But the percentage of, right, and the percentage of what my take-home salary, what used to be versus, and my debt income, all that, the ratio has been really important.
Yeah, it tells you if you're out of line.
That's exactly right.
Okay, because you're not people like you used to be. You're people like you are now.
That's right.
And so your identity can be, I came from there. It's like Condoleezza Rice's line. It doesn't matter where you're coming from. All that matters where you're going to.
That's right.
And so, if you where you grew up is part of your story, but it is not necessarily who you are today.
That's right.
Your level of education is part of your story, but it's not necessarily who you are today. These are all elements of who you are today, but I'm not the same person that little David Ramsey at 3713 Faulkner Drive was.
And thank goodness, right?
Yeah, because he wasn't real bright.
John Deloney wasn't either. But
Can you imagine the dumb butt stuff I've done on a bicycle?
I appreciate you and everyone we work with. I think the ethos of this place, it's right over there on the wall. Don't despise humble beginnings. Always making sure we're tipping folks and taking care of people. Never forgetting those moments that when you couldn't rub two pennies together, right? I think there's an ethos here.
Yeah, and in that sense, you remember, what is the hillbilly, my hillbilly upbringing? Don't forget your raisin. I'll always love raisins, but I didn't know what they were talking about.
I love raisins.
Don't forget your raisin. How you were brought up. Don't forget how you were brought up, right? And so there's some good things you want to do with that. I'm loyal to vendors that have been with us forever because part of my raisin was you dance with the girl that brought you.
Yep.
So there's some good things in there that you stick with that are principles, but the identity that the only way I'm wholly me is to be poor.
Right.
Not true.
That's right.
That's a false identity. So yeah, there's two things you have to do. Is one, you have to adjust the identity, and the second thing is you just get used to
practice
with ratios the use of money of that amount, and it's going to mean you're driving cars and you're going to look up and you go, I got a friend who made $15 million last year, and he drove up the other day in a $400,000 car, and I'm like, Who needs a? Oh, wait a minute. It's less than a guy making $150,000 spending on a $4,000 car. Exactly the same ratio. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, he can drive a stupid thing off a cliff, and as long as nobody's hurt, it ain't gonna hurt him. He'll be all right. It's like, but it's where you come from is like shocks your system. This is the Ramsey Show. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, host of the Dr. John Deloney Show, is my co-host today. Now, we talk a lot about the things you need to do to be successful with money. Let me tell you what one of them is. You need to learn not only gratitude, but unbelievable generosity. And generosity is actually a muscle you can build. This is a time of year when we have the opportunity to build that. And your generosity muscle, you can start building it in your children when they're young. You can just decide today, I'm going to change my generosity. You can decide the amount of money, the percentage, the methodology. Those of us that are evangelical Christians, we start with a tithe, 10% of our income to our local church. But you can start wherever you want to start. But generosity is a keystone among people who win at life and at money. Now, I find a few people, not many, but a few, percentage-wise, I would say less than 10%, probably approaching 5%, that actually do very well with money who are just straight-up Scrooge and they're selfish. But the vast majority, 95% plus, that do well with money also have their generosity muscle built, and it affects their handling of money in a positive way. They end up with more money because they're generous. So we do an annual giving show. This year it'll be on December the 14th. It's our last live broadcast. That's not the truth.
We're doing it earlier this year.
We're not doing it as our last live. It usually is our last live broadcast of the year. James just corrected me. This year, we're going to do it early. December the 14th, and we're going to hear giving stories and receiving stories. Some of you that have had your mind blown by some giving you've been involved in, or had your mind blown by some receiving that has happened to you. And all of this is to inspire America to be more generous. If I add up what we spend on Halloween decorations and on pets, we could not have a single hungry person in America today, and we could build 6 hospitals and operate them for a decade the size of St. Jude's. Free care. Just what we spend on Halloween decorations and pets. Now, I'm not against Halloween decorations, and I'm not against pets. I'm saying there's money in this country. That's all I'm saying. And generosity always is a good thing for the whole society and you as an individual. So we always want to inspire more of that. So send your giving and receiving stories to be part of the December 14th show to ask@RamseySolutions.com, ask@RamseySolutions.com. I dare say some chemicals are unleashed in the brain when you give.
It's one of my favorite episodes of the year. Last year, I was just sat here in awe and just inspired. It was incredible, man. Incredible. I look forward to telling my story about Dave when he buys us all cars. I'm pretty excited about that. Just kind of putting that out into the universe.
Are you?
Yeah.
The universe just said no.
I tried, guys. Sorry.
I speak to the universe regularly.
You do. It listens to you, man. It never listens to me. It just responds in the voice of Dave or my wife.
Mike is in Montana. Hey, Mike, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Dave?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Good. My wife and I have been in Babysit 3B for about 30 months now, and we are wondering if we're getting a little too long and we should start moving things around or what. We're in an area where we think that we can find a house for $180. That's the sale price. And my take-home pay is such that 25% would make us have a $51,000 down payment. But if we cheated that 25 up to 30%, we would only need 28, which is about what we would have by the summer. So I'm wondering if that's something that is acceptable, or if we should just go take a cold shower or something.
Yeah. Okay. Let's pan back for a second and say, okay, why do we have a ratio on the size of house payment? Not how much can I get away with? Why do we teach you that? Well, we teach you that because if your house payment is too freaking big as a percentage of your income, you can't breathe, you have no margin, and then everything other than the house becomes a crisis because the house is pinching you, and that's what we in our business call house poor. Now, you know all that, right, Mike?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so to the extent you go over 25%, you start moving in that direction. But I've had people call here with a house payment that's 50% of their take-home pay. And no kidding, they can't breathe. They've got to sell that house if they can't double their income pretty quick. So if you want to, quote unquote, cheat yourself, because there's no one else in this discussion but you and your wife and your kids, right? You cheat yourself in your future.
Yep.
Up on the 30% side, because you got a little bit of house fever, what's the trade-off? Well, under what circumstances would that be wise or less wise? Okay. If your company is announcing that it's probably going to have layoffs this summer, well, that would be totally stupid then. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
If you're in a job where your income's probably going to go up 30% in the next 2 years, then pretty quickly your house payment's going to be 25% of your take-home pay. If you're going to buy this house at 30% of your income and then have the third baby and your wife says she wants to be home and now it's 48% of your take-home pay, well, that's obviously not going to work. So it kind of has to do with future plans, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how stable is your
So-
income? What do you do?
Well, I'm actually switching into a job, and we're switching into tech from being a trucker. So that's paying for school for that is part of why it's taking us, the 30 months and baby step 3B.
Okay. When will you be making the switch?
That'll be end of next summer, August, September, somewhere in there.
Okay.
And we're basing these numbers on what I'm estimating that to be. My wife is planning on coming home. She's currently working as a nurse. She's planning on coming home when we have our third child in May.
Whoa! Woo, like I've done this before or something. Okay.
Yes, exactly. I was thinking the same thing.
All right. And so when the smoke clears, you're at 30% in a new career.
Correct. Yep.
And until the smoke clears, you're at better than 30%. Because your trucker plus her income before the third kid comes and before you switch.
No. The 30% will be based on just my income after I switch jobs.
Yeah, that's what I said. When the smoke clears, and she quits.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And she quits.
Yep. So.
But it should be more. It should be less than 30% with both of you working in the meantime, right?
Oh yeah. It'll be
okay.
I don't have those numbers, but yeah.
Yeah, and then what do you think the trajectory is on your income after you get the new job?
The information I have says that it'll go up quite a bit.
Okay. Then you're not going to be at 30% for very long.
Years. Okay.
So what we're looking at here is we want to look at the film strip, not the snapshot.
Okay.
The film strip is your whole life all the way out. Are we strapping ourselves to a house long term? And what you're doing is you're going in and out. Start with you're going to be below, then you're going to be up to 30, and then but 30 is just passing through because then 4 months into the new job you get another raise, right? Or whatever, 8 months in, whatever, that kind of a thing. So you may have 1 year of tight, but it's not. But your plan is not to live a life of being house poor. Then that starts to be more wise than I work for the state. I get a 3% raise every year, and my wife's going to quit in 2 years, and then we're really going to be screwed. No, we're not signing up for that one.
Right. Okay.
You see the difference?
I do see the difference. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So Dave, this makes me nervous.
Okay.
Because maybe it's my years of working with young professionals, but I can't think of a group that overestimates what they're going to be making in 18 months and then make current fiscal decisions based on this imaginary growth that may or may not come. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So here's the thing. Here's what you might be facing, what John's pointing out. If this doesn't go the way you think, you may be faced with your wife keeps working or you have to sell the house.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you had to stay a trucker in 3 years, could you make this house payment?
No.
Yeah, no, not without going over the road, which is something I would rather sell the
not
house.
with her coming home.
Yeah.
So you may end up trading her being home for this house if the career path doesn't work out like your plan.
So you may have to go all in on the career plan, right? Yeah, you got to make this thing work.
And or you go, hey, it's just a house.
We give it a shot.
And it's more important that we move to a smaller house. It's more important that she stays home.
That's right.
And that's more important to us than that particular house.
Yeah.
And you just sell the house. Also, you can refinance the house when interest rates come down. That'll help. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey, it's John Deloney, co-host of The Ramsey Show. Did you know over 18 million people listen to The Ramsey Show every week? A lot of those people listen on one of our 600-plus radio stations across the country. To find a station near you, go to RamseySolutions.com/show.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studio. It's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today as we take your questions about your life and your money. Open phones at 888-825-5225. David is calling from Saigon, Vietnam. I think that's my first call from Saigon in 30 years. David, how are you?
Hi, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Good. What are you doing in Saigon?
Living abroad. I've been living. My wife and I have been living abroad for about 16 years, but our investments and properties are in the U.S.
Cool. What do you do for a living?
And international educator.
Okay.
So I teach.
All right.
Yeah.
I was going to say, that sounded a lot like Art Vandellay's importer-exporter from Seinfeld.
Nice.
I actually have a
Seinfeld
good
reference,
friend whose brother lives in Saigon that is in your business, and I'm wondering if you're him. Anyway, yeah. All right. Go ahead, brother. How can we help?
Maybe I know him. Okay. We're big fans of the baby steps. We've done them all. We've done them all except for one, and I might get in trouble from you on this one, and that is that we have 2 rental properties that are turning a profit, and we don't want to pay off the rest of the mortgage because we feel like we're making more having that money invested in the market. So, and I know you, with your baby steps, you highly recommend paying off those mortgages. But we're thinking, why do that if we can make more if that money is in the market? Can you share your wisdom?
Oh, you want to know why I say to do that? Oh, I see. Okay. And
Dave,
how much money much money do you have in investments?
A little over $1 million.
Good for you. Well done. How old are you?
57.
Excellent. And how much are these mortgages?
They're about 170 each.
So 340 knocks it out, and that leaves you with 660 in your investment if we use that investment pool to do that. Okay? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And
there's
so
about
really what we're
500
discussing is how much more you would make on $340,000 over the interest on the houses. Okay? Now,
yes.
Here's the thing. I first approached this through the lens of faith. Was my first approach because I have all the letters and licenses after my name, the academic crap that says I'm supposed to know something about money, but I went broke. So apparently I did something wrong. And so I discovered common sense and what the Bible says about money, and I can't find anywhere as a Christian. This is my journey, not yours, okay? I can't find anywhere in the Bible ever that says anything positive about debt. It's not a salvation issue. You're not going to hell because you have debt. It's not a God loves you less if you have debt. It's all negative, though. The borrower is slave to the lender. And it goes on and on and on and on and on. All the negative references from that. So as part of my faith walk, I had to say, okay, God must know something or that I don't understand about debt, because I was taught if you can borrow money at 3, 4, 5% on your mortgage, and you can invest it in a mutual fund and make 10 or 12, then you're making that spread, that arbitrage, which is what you're discussing, correct?
Yes, exactly.
Now, as I've gone forward, what I've discovered is that the vast majority of wealthy people that we've studied, people of faith or otherwise, have avoided debt and gotten out of debt, and have stayed away from it. And I kind of had to stop and go, why is that? And I find very few people, now you're not highly leveraged, but I find very few people that are highly leveraged that actually survive. The people that borrow money like crazy to buy rental properties and do an Airbnb and all this crap, they're all broke in 10 years. I went broke doing that within 10 years. And so you can't find someone that's been doing that for 20 years and survived. One of these economic cycles takes their head off. And so what that means is that debt equals risk. More debt equals more risk. And I think we can all agree to that. Can you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You have a small amount of debt, so it doesn't feel like a lot of risk. It's not as much risk as if you had $3.4 million. Agreed?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. More debt is more risk. Yeah. Less debt is less risk. Zero debt is approaching zero risk. And the only math formula I have found that adjusts for risk does not exist in the real estate world. It's only in the investment world. And we adjust for risk using the math formula of a beta. A beta is the height of if you do peaks and valleys of an investment, it goes up and down, up and down, up and down. The difference in the difference in the peak and the valley is called a beta. Higher beta is a higher volatility, a steeper mountain and a more often cycle. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And in the investment world, we use a beta. The higher the beta, the higher the risk, because the more volatile it is. And we use an inverse relationship in the math, meaning you drop it under the denominator, and get nerdy here, but that gives you the ability to calculate risk into the investment and measure a risky investment against a not so risky investment that has a lower beta, and you've neutralized for risk. Therefore, you can compare them apples to apples. We don't enter risk into the formula that you used to tell me you wanted to keep your debt. If we put risk in that formula, and you do have some risk, not as much as if you had 3.4 million, but if we put a low beta in your formula, it starts to neutralize and do away with all your spread. The other thing that happens is when you don't have any payments, you just straight up sleep better.
That's true.
And I've done detailed research. 100% of the foreclosures occur on a house with a mortgage. And so I would tell you this. Let's do this. You could try this if you want to. I would pay them both off, and if you hate it, go get you another mortgage later.
Okay. Okay, fair enough. Can I ask you another question, a follow-up question then?
So you should be scared to after that long answer. But yeah.
Back in stats class.
If we do yank all that money out, we're gonna pay through the nose in taxes, pulling it all out of all of our retirement investments.
How old are you?
So it's like,
you're 57. No, I would not take it out of retirement. Yeah. Is it all in retirement?
Yeah, this is all.
You don't have any money that's not in retirement.
We have some.
How much?
We have a couple hundred.
Well, I'd use that then.
Ta-da!
Yeah. And you have a good income, and I would I'm not going to cash out and pay penalties on your retirement. I was not suggesting that, but because that changes the formula. Now, you may have some capital gains on it, and I would do that. I have lived 100% debt-free since I went broke 30-something years ago, and I have had a wonderful life. I've made a lot of money. I have a lot of investments, and they're all paid for. And when crap happens, like the Island of Misfit Toys is misbehaving up in Washington, D.C. right now, and they're screwing up the whole freaking economy, I'm sitting here peaceful and slept really good last night, except that my 4-year-old grandson put a plastic snake under my pillow. But other than that, I slept great last night. That really did happen.
Good for him.
I told him his new name is Sneaky Snake.
I like it.
That's his new nickname. When I go to his rehearsal dinner in 24 years, I'm going to introduce him to Sneaky Snake. That's it. I'm going to throw that snake at him. I'm saving it. This is The Ramsey Show. Look, I love real estate, and I want you to have a house, but I don't want a house to have you. That's why you need to get in touch with Churchill Mortgage to make sure you do this right. These guys are awesome. They'll help you get on a smarter mortgage plan because they're committed to doing what's right for you. That means they check in every year with free consultations to help you stay on the right plan. They show you how to save money and interest so you can build wealth faster. They walk you through the total cost of your loan so you can make the best choice. Basically, they care. That's why we call them Ramsey Trusted. You can achieve debt-free home ownership, and Churchill is here to help. Go to their site, churchillmortgage.com/Ramsey, to start your approval or get more information. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. JC is with us in Fort Worth. Hey, JC, what's up?
Hey, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you. How can we help?
Well, I'm calling today because I'm feeling very overwhelmed about our house and really not sure what to do about it. The short story is that since August, we've had some major home repairs totaling about $40,000 that are going to send us back into consumer debt because we don't have that kind of cash in the bank. So I guess my question is, at what point do we cut our losses and say goodbye to this house?
Okay, what kind of home repairs pop up so suddenly and unexpectedly?
Right. So we had to get our HVAC replaced in August. When we bought the house, it was only 2 years old, which we thought, was a dream.
What did you pay for that?
So the HVAC was about $15,000. We got the lowest SEER that we could.
So you paid for that. That's done.
No, we had to finance that.
So you had no money when you moved in the house?
Well, so we moved into the house in 2019.
And you had no money when your HVAC went out?
So we have about $13,000 in the bank. And so we could pay for most of it, yes.
But you didn't?
No, we did not.
Okay, so what is it you want me to... So you're trying to decide whether to keep the house. What was the other thing that went wrong?
Yeah, so the foundation, basically with the drought that we had in Texas this summer, the house was falling apart at the seams, major cracks. So we actually had gotten a quote for the foundation a couple years ago, and it was only $4,000 at the time, and then we ended up waiting on it, and it ended up being a lot more. So that was $95,000, and then to validate
what was $95,000? You've already done it?
Yeah.
So you've already financed that too?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you told me you had to do these repairs and then you were going to be in debt. So you've already made all these decisions.
Well, there's one more decision that we have to make.
Okay.
And so to validate the warranty for the lifetime warranty on the foundation, we need to pass a plumbing test, and we failed that. And the minimum repairs for that are $13,000, but they're not entirely sure that that's going to fix it.
The same people that did the foundation did the plumbing repair?
No, it was a different company.
Are they friends?
Yes, they are. And
BS.
I've been working on getting
Yes, they can trench up your entire yard for less than that.
That's absolute BS.
Okay.
I'd call another company to come out and certify
I'm
it.
calling BS. I'm calling a lawyer. You're going to certify this dadgum foundation that you put in for $10,000 today. Period. This idea that I have to get plumbing done from your friend before I get your warranty on work you did, BS.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about
Okay.
to bust somebody in the chops.
Okay.
I don't think you're going to do it, are you?
Well,
Because you're convinced that you're
I'm-
convinced the whole damn thing's falling down.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
You're right.
And so you're,
And I
you're
think
in
you
a-
want to sell it because you're mad at the house.
Very true. Yes.
Yeah. So what's this piece of garbage worth?
It's probably worth it's maybe 300,000. It might be a little. We might have to, take a little bit less on it now with
What do you owe on it?
things slowing down. About 180.
Okay. All right. I think you're going to sell your house because I think you hate your house.
Yeah.
But I also think you got to figure out a way to start living your life without drama to debt to debt.
Yeah.
It's not going because you're always going to have drama around the house, and you're going to have to
Right.
you're going to have to finish borrowing money on it, and you're going to have to think differently about the process. But I don't know about your husband, but I do know about his wife. She's tired of this house. She's ready to move.
I think my husband is more tired than I am, actually.
Okay. Well, I mean,
But now you're going to get everything all fixed.
I'm not doing the plumbing. Bozo that did the repair on the foundation's about to issue me a warranty, or I'm about to come after him for doing work that he can't warranty. This is a problem. This is a problem. And I smell a rat, and it stinks. So, could be wrong. Not calling him a crook, just saying sure does look like one. And so, that's what I'm doing. And then I'm going to put the house on the market and sell the crap out of it and move. And this time
Okay.
buy something that, and listen, and then stop this garbage. Stop
Yes.
all this justification, and we're stuck, and it's the only thing we
Woe
can
is
do.
us,
And
and
we're trapped, and all this stuff happens to us. You're going to happen to it.
Right.
And it's time that you guys get control of this stuff.
And if you buy a house in the DFW area, you're going to have foundation challenges. You're going to have air conditioning. I mean, that just got to make peace with that if you're going to be a homeowner in some of those areas.
Yeah.
Which means you can't, like you mentioned, you can't buy a house if you don't have any money.
And you also get a good home inspection before you buy the house.
Right.
Yeah. And you should know with a good home inspection if you have more than 2 years of life left in the HVAC.
Yes.
You got a 12-year-old HVAC. It's coming shortly. Get ready. You know what I mean? It's working perfect now. Yeah. It won't be for long. It's coming at you. I mean, you got a 4-year-old HVAC. You should get more than 2 more years out of it. Hello. So, I mean, this is, it's basic stuff. These things have a life and a lifespan, and the lifespan is only so long.
You said it, Dave, and it reminds me. JC, you're going to sell this house. You're going to buy a new house. And if you don't quickly and dramatically deal with the drama in your home, with how y'all handle money, how y'all handle each other, how you handle YOLO versus we're going to slow down and save up for stuff, you're going to realize in short order you're going to buy a new house, and you and your husband went with you. And they are going to show up at that new house. And there's going to be more, we need this, we got to buy this, and we got to have this, and then this is going to break, and the whole cycle starts over again.
Yeah.
Part of me thinks the spiritual exercise would be to sit there for a couple, 3 months, 6 months, and make peace with your relationship with your husband, and y'all make peace with decision making, and then get into something else. You're not going to do that, but man, there's something about running from mess to mess to mess. You said it, Dave. You got to deal with the drama, or it's just going to follow you. It's going to follow you, follow you, follow you, follow you.
And this is Thanksgiving. It's probably not a bad idea to sell your house in the spring rather than at Christmas. So, in terms of market timing or whatever. So it might be, it's okay. Yeah, go ahead and bust on the foundation guy, get that certified, and then just sit there, enjoy the new property, start, spend a month or two cleaning it up, get ready to sell, start talking about putting it on the market in March. And in the meantime, get your head around, okay, we're going to control these controllables. These variables coming at us are not going to control us. And when you live from stress to stress to crisis, debt to debt, it's a cycle that you have to intellectually and as an act of your will break that cycle. and it's not easy to do. I was the same way. I mean, we're at our house, Ramsey's. We are built-in drama queens.
Oh,
I mean, we can add drama to anything. So
it's one of my spiritual gifts, man.
So
Ian Crone created a 10th Enneagram for me.
Just for you.
Just drama queen.
Yeah,
That's
drama
right,
queen.
Just drama queen.
Number 10 on the Enneagram.
That's right.
And so, yeah, that's it. And, so I understand what you're doing, but one of the things I had to do is I had to break myself from feeling like these circumstances were controlling me. These things coming at me were controlling me. And there's that sense of power of backing up 3 steps and go, yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe we're not using your buddy to fix the plumbing. Maybe we're just going to bust you in the nose. Maybe not. Yeah, it's a whole different way of looking at things. This is The Ramsey Show. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Chris and Brianna are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Hey,
guys.
we're great.
Welcome. Where do y'all live?
Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, cool. Welcome to Nashville. And all the way here to do a debt-free scream. How much did you pay off?
$76,840.94.
Love it. How long did this take?
27 months.
Wow. And your range of income during that time?
After taxes, it was $140,000 to $150,000.
Awesome. What do y'all do for a living?
I'm a counselor and a virtual health and fitness coach.
And I own a small landscaping company.
Oh, very good. Very good. Good careers, both of you. What kind of debt was the $77,000?
It was mostly student loans, and then the rest of it, so about $53,000 was student loans, and then the rest of it was consumer debt.
Yeah. How long you been out of school?
Oh, I've been out of school since 2004.
We've been borrowing money since we got married.
Yes.
Okay.
22 years.
You've been married 22 years,
Yeah.
but 27 months ago, what happened? What turned the corner for you? I mean, you changed.
Well, I lost my temper one day after a long, hard day in the hot sun. I was working a lot. We were dealing with a lot, and
This is COVID. I mean, 27 months ago was in the middle of COVID, right?
Well, so we really had this conversation right before COVID hit.
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
And so at the time, we did have 6 kids in the house at that time. And so we had a lot of stress. And then finances were tight.
And then it was a long, hot day. And then what happened?
and then I said, we got to do something different.
Yeah.
This ain't working. And that kind of rounded off the edges on that a little bit. But, and so the next day we were at church and
Like, for real, what'd you do? Like, you can't just leave. That's like in middle school when somebody came up to you and goes, I know someone who likes you, and they won't tell you. What happened?
I just lost my temper.
All right.
I have a bad temper.
All right.
So we heard about your class at 12 Stone Church. And,
Oh, yeah.
And so we took the class.
Okay.
And like you said, COVID hit right in the middle of it.
Yeah.
So we kind of finished up online.
Yeah.
But it was a hard decision because I was gung ho, and she wasn't so much. So.
Right. I mean, we had just lived with debt for so long. Like, there was just a part of me that didn't really believe that we could get out of it. And so, and he is very all or nothing, and I'm very in the gray. And so approaching the steps, was a challenge as far as communication goes and all of that. But we did it. So.
And is this one of many schemes you've presented her over the years? Or was this...
Listen, we don't got to get into all that.
But, I mean, there could have been a bunch of opportunities.
Yes.
And this was just another, and she was like, all right.
Yeah, I've always been an entrepreneur.
Okay.
I've always tried stuff on my own.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Brianna, what finally brought you around where you said I'm into?
Well, I mean, I'm going to support whatever he wants to do. And so I just was like, decided to trust the process. I mean, I knew the principles.
At what point? Because you didn't at first.
Well,
tell the truth.
I mean, I didn't at first, but I did it even without believing it.
Okay,
So I behaviorally I was all in, but in my head, I mean, I even told my best friends, like, there's no way this is going to work for us.
Okay.
Honestly.
Okay.
And then we kept doing it.
When did you start believing in your head that it would work?
I would say about 6 months in, once we got
wow.
once we really had stuff paid off and we were only getting to the student loans, then I was like, I could see the real traction was happening. And then last August, we still had like $29,000 left. And he's like, I want to pay it off by the time the kids get out of school. And that would have been May. And I was like, oh, there's no way we're going to do this. And then we did it. We sent our last payment in May before they got out of school that year. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
How'd y'all make it in that last sprint?
I mean, we
Just got tighter.
We just got tighter and tighter, and anything extra that came into the house went. Any extra paychecks went. Any extra money went. We were cutting. We were budgeting. We had sold extra furniture around the house.
And by now you believe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now
so
I believe.
Now you're all in. At
Now
this,
I'm all
at this
in.
point in the story. Yeah. Good.
Absolutely.
That makes a difference too. That changes the numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very cool. Good for you.
How has this changed your marriage?
Well, I mean, we're not fighting about money.
Yeah, we don't fight about money. We've never really fought like hardcore about stuff, but we did more of the we just won't talk about it and everything will be okay. We've always been good earners. We just didn't really.
You were even
manage
better
our money.
spenders.
Yeah, we just didn't manage
We
it
didn't
well.
manage our money well.
Yeah.
So our money didn't really change that much. I mean, as you can see from the numbers, it only went up 10,000. So it's all just behavioral stuff.
So when you came home from that long hot day in the sun before COVID starts and this whole thing happens, was what you were mad about money, a money thing?
I was mad that I was working so hard and we had no money.
Okay, that's what I meant. Yeah, it's a disgusted
Yeah.
kind of thing. I've been there. Yeah, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Yeah.
Yeah, I work too dadgum hard. We make $100 and something thousand. We got nothing.
Yep.
That mad. That's
Yes,
a good
sir.
mad. I like that one. That's righteous anger. That causes you to change your life. Yeah, that's good. Very well done, guys. Well
Thank you.
done. Very powerful. When you look back, what do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is?
Passion for me. You got to get after it, as you say a lot. I'm outside a lot, so I listen to the show a lot. I'm able to listen to my headphones most of the day. So I just I felt like just staying intense and pushing the envelope and trying to make as much money as I could.
Yeah, that make you work harder when it's going somewhere, when you can see the traction.
Yep.
Yeah, you can work extra hours. You can do all kinds of stuff. Yeah. Good for you. Very well done. What about you, Brianna? What do you say the secret was?
I think the secret was to start before you're ready and to just trust the process.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's something about
Start before you're ready.
acting your way into this. Like I'm gonna trust the process. It's like the Indiana Jones, when he just takes that step, and I'm gonna take the next step. He could have sat there and intellectualized the whole thing, but he just started walking, right? And good for you. And you walked the path, and suddenly it began to reveal itself. Oh, this is gonna happen, right?
Yes, exactly.
Good for you. Good for you.
That's powerful. Very well done, y'all.
Thank
Very
you.
well done. Proud of you. And you brought the kiddos with you. Have them come up. What are their names and ages?
Come on up. We've got Emma. She is 11. And then we have Ivy is 9. And then Gavin is 13. And then we have an older one at home, Ryan. He's watching The House and the Dog.
That's
so
a good
he's
thing.
18.
Yeah.
So
That's a good thing. Okay. Very cool. Very cool. Well done, you guys. Very well done. Hey, we've got the Live and Give bundle for you. That's the Total Money Makeover book, the new Baby Steps Millionaires book, both #1 bestsellers for you to use or give away, and a 1-year membership to Financial Peace University. You've been through it, but that'll be something you can give away as well, and you'll enjoy certainly the Baby Steps Millionaire book. That's the next chapter in your story. You're on your way. So proud of y'all.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
You conquered one of the most difficult territories to conquer, and that's the guy in the mirror.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. Well done. Very well done. And we can see it on you. We can see the body language. It's very powerful. Good job.
Thank you.
Very good job. All right, Chris and Brianna, Gavin, Emma, and Ivy. Wow, $77,000 paid off in 27 months, making $140 to $150 after I got sick and tired of being sick and tired. Count it down. Let's hear a
Are you ready?
debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt free.
That's how it's done. Wow. Wow. what's our friend's name? I cannot place it. Who wrote the book, and he talks about the only positive, or one of the most positive emotions is the emotion of anger. 7.
Oh, Dodd, Chip.
Chip Dodd.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chip Dodd. Yeah, the anger is the one that has action associated with it, and everybody's so worried about toxic versions of anger, but there's a good anger that gets you off your butt.
Yeah, it points you towards something that you care about, and it helps you recognize this isn't how things should be, and I'm headed right in the middle of it.
It puts you on a personal crusade.
Yeah.
Crusades are not born of anything but anger, and it's a righteous kind of an anger, not toxic. No one's getting hurt with this, but I got mad. That's a good kind of mad. I like
and I'm
that.
not just going to sit here and stamp my feet. I'm going to do something.
Yeah, I'm not to take it anymore.
Right.
It's the old song from the 80s.
Twisted Sister, baby.
That's it. Man. Yeah, I wish I had more hair. Yeah. This is the Ramsey Show. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. If you've gone through Financial Peace University, chances are you did it because someone in your life lit a fire under your butt. Mom and Dad gave it to you as a gift. Your pastor offered it at the church. A friend that wouldn't stop talking about it. You finally took the class. You start working the baby steps. Now everything's different, just like our last step-free scream. You change your entire future. Now you can light a fire under someone else. There you go. This Christmas, you can give someone you care about Financial Peace University and share the same hope that you've discovered with money. Right now, we're offering Financial Peace University at the lowest price we ever have, $59.99. Wow. That includes all 9 lessons, the premium version of Every Dollar, and group financial coaching. This deal, I promise you, will not last. This is a Christmas time special, so you can give. This Christmas, give the people you care about a gift that actually matters, and that gift is called hope. It's called freedom. To get Financial Peace University for just $59.99, go to RamseySolutions.com/GiveFPU. See, we're kind of in the deflation business.
I don't think you've gotten the inflation message.
I didn't get the memo on our pricing.
Tis the season to make things more expensive. We've got permission to do so, Dave.
Yeah, and I didn't listen. So apparently our marketing people didn't. That's RamseySolutions.com/GiveFPU. That's the way you get it for $59, and you can give it away. Adam is with us in San Antonio. Hey, Adam, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. Thanks for taking the call.
Sure. What's up?
Well, currently live and work in San Antonio, and I just got a job offer in Dallas. Now, I bought the house. It's currently at about $320, got an equity of $160 in it, and a 3.75 interest rate. Now, the job sounds great, but how much should I take as a bonus or a raise to take this new job if I know when I get a new house out there it's going to be at 7, almost 8% versus my 3.75? I'm currently making about 86 after everything but before taxes.
And they're offering you what?
Well, we haven't gotten into negotiations yet. I mean, we're throwing some numbers back and forth at each other, but I mean, I just know that's going to take a lot more out of my paycheck paying that extra interest rate every month.
Well, I don't think what you get paid somewhere is based on the interest rate of your house.
Yes.
I think what you get paid
You're
somewhere is what the market value at the time of the job is.
My question is,
I mean, if they cut your interest rate in half and you got a 1.5% rate on it, you wouldn't expect to get paid less.
No, I guess I'm just asking at what point is it worth moving?
So I think you've got to back out of this. Here's what troubles me about this mindset. It's like you're uncertain of the job you just accepted or about to accept, and you're making it their responsibility to cover certain things. This is a math problem, man. Come up with, I need this much money to make this move, and if you can't work, we'll shake hands, and great. If they can't, if the market doesn't demand what they're able to pay in that area, but you're making them.
Well, you make 80 now. What would make it fun, do you think?
With the work I'd have to be doing, I don't know, 94, 95.
Okay, what do you think they're going to offer you?
Hopefully around there. I mean,
this is doing what?
It's assessing buildings after hurricanes and disasters.
Okay. And you're an engineer, did you say?
We do forensic engineer work.
Okay.
Assessing buildings, hospitals after disasters.
Yeah, I got you. Okay.
Have you just not? What's
and
making
I'm not
you
relying
hesitate?
on them to do anything. The main thing is I just know that's going to take more out of my paycheck every month.
Sure, but I've taken
the company I'm at now.
I've taken several jobs in my professional career at less money because it was better for the season I was in, and it was going to provide an opportunity for me to make like significantly more money down the road.
Yeah, 10 years from now, do you want to be in Dallas doing this or San Antonio doing this with the two? 10 years from now, you want to be working for the new company or your current company?
Probably the new one.
Probably what?
The new one.
The new one. Okay. All right. And so if you end up netting a little less, then and that's all the job is worth. Because I don't know what that's worth. I have no idea in Dallas, Texas. They might offer you $140 for all I know. You know, in which case
So it sounds like it's arbitrary. I shouldn't even worry about this at this point. I mean, making enough, I'm comfortable. I shouldn't let that math scare me away from a good job.
It's short term.
Right.
You want to make the decision based on long-term variables, not the short-term variable.
But I'm concerned as to why you are hesitant to put a number out on the table and say this is what it's going to take to get me.
I would rather
That's
them
fair.
put the first number out because it might be more than I was going to
That's
put
true.
out.
Yeah. All right, I need 95 or I'm not coming. They're all going to giggle and be like, "You got it, dude."
Fair.
Yeah. Why don't you see what they're offering?
Have you asked them point blank? What's the?
No, not yet. The negotiation's just beginning. He said.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, we've got another one coming up.
Yeah,
we talked about.
I would do the best thing you can do in negotiating in general is listen and let them talk.
Okay.
And then just say, gosh, one of the things I'm struggling with has nothing to do with what the job is worth. I want to come over there and add value, and the job is worth what the job is worth, but I've got a real good interest rate, and I'm not going to have one if I move, and that's kind of coming into my math. So what are you all thinking? And just, that's kind of, but I would not say, if you're coming to me, I'm an employer, I've got 1,000, almost 1,100 people here, and you say, I want more money because my interest rate is higher, I'm going to say no.
Yes.
Because that's not a reason for me to pay you more. The reason I pay you more is you're worth more. Not because, or the job pays more. Not because you got a higher interest rate. You see what I'm saying? The value of the position is the value of the position. And it might be that in this shortage of labor economy that we have with the Great Resignation, the way things are right now, that they're going to offer you north of 100. I kind of think that, by the way.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me. So I'd be real quiet and let them put a number out and then just smile. And here's a little negotiating tip just for fun. You can just play with this if you want to mess with it. It's a great little negotiating line. No matter what they say, just smile and go, wow, that's impressive. Thank you so much. Is there any more you can do? And just ask and smile. Just go, can you do anything else? Because they probably got a little bit of something in just to see what comes out. I mean, is that the best you can do?
I'm laughing right now because I asked you that exact question and you said nope.
Well, I've taught this on videos, and I assumed you had watched the video, Deloney.
Oh, man.
Oh, my gosh.
We had that exact conversation. I know right where we were.
Nope. This is it. This is what we're doing.
And I lost like a sucker.
You didn't lose. You're here.
I won big. I won big.
You didn't lose. You're on Jordan Peterson this week.
That's right. I won big.
I love it. Too fun. Yeah, that's the thing. Always approach a job not by what you need, but by what the position is worth. And that's a good thing. And how can I add value? Because all employers have this formula, folks. All of us do. And the formula is I need to make more on you than you cost me.
Right.
Otherwise, I've got a whole bunch of people in the building and I'm losing money. This is called layoffs are coming.
Right. And when someone comes in and says, well, I've got this degree and I'm worth this much, or I've got this much experience and I'm worth this much, great. But this position's not going to make me that back. I can't afford to do that, right?
I had a guy back in the day, there was only about 25 of us, and he came in and he said, I've got this degree and this degree. And he had more degrees than the thermometer.
Yeah.
I mean, he was unbelievable. And he's like, and if I was working at a Fortune 500 company, here's what I'd be making. And I said, well, this is a small business, son. In a small business, your raise is effective when you are. Ooh. So we don't really give a crap what your degrees are. You kill something and drag it home, man. We'll share it with you. But you stand around beating your chest about where you went to school, all you're going to get is a sore chest.
Hey,
I mean,
remember
come on.
when I first started here, I asked one of the HR folks, hey, where do I send my transcripts? And they started laughing. He said, you can keep them.
We believe you.
Well played. Well
we
played.
believe you. Oh, that's fun stuff. This is The Ramsey Show. Dave here. You can find all of our shows with the Ramsey Network app on your smartphone. It's the only place to listen to the entire back catalog of episodes. Download the Ramsey Network app in your favorite app store today. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios. It's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Michelle is with us in Bend, Oregon, starting off this hour. Hi, Michelle. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. How are you guys?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
So I was just curious. I was thinking about, my husband and I were talking about refinancing our vehicle and then taking a personal loan so we can consolidate our credit cards. And I just want to know what your thought would be on it. It would be like almost half the interest that it was when I first got the car 2 years ago. And then obviously the interest on the personal loan is way less than the credit cards. So it makes sense to me, but I wanted your opinion.
What's the balance?
On the car is $12,500.
And the credit cards?
About $19,000.
Okay. All right. And what's your interest rate on your car?
Currently, I think it's at 9%.
And
No, it's 7. I think it's I want to say it's between 7 and 9. I'm not certain.
And the new rate if you refinanced would be what?
I have a quote from Credit Karma for like 4.15.
Okay. I doubt that's going to happen in this current environment.
0% chance.
Yeah.
I think, so they're just trying to sneak you in with.
Yeah, I think you're about to get bait. I think you're about to get bait and switch. That's way below market rates. Okay, but let's say you saved 4% on, give or take, on say $10,000. That's $400.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what's your household income?
About $75,000 after taxes.
And the interest rate on your credit cards, average on that $20,000 balance is what?
I want to say probably like 24%, something like that.
Yeah, probably closer to 20. Yeah, probably got some at 18. But yeah, that's probably about right. And then the interest rate on the offered refinance on that is how much?
9.63 or something like that.
All right. So 10% savings, let's call it, for round numbers. on $20,000 is $2,000. Okay.
Oh,
So you have
okay.
$30,000 in debt, and this
Mm-hmm.
move saves you $2,400 a year.
A year, right?
You do not have a $2,400 problem. You have a $30,000 problem.
Right. I understand that.
Yeah.
But what my thought is that, so I've been listening to your program for a couple months, and I've convinced my husband, he does the bills, and I've convinced him to stop putting little extras here on every single one, focus on the smallest, pay it off. We've paid off 2 cards. We've got the $1,000 in the savings.
Good, you're making progress.
I'm trying, yeah, and I'm trying. I want to hurry it up, and it's kind of hard because he doesn't see it the same way I do. So I'm like, $2,400 a year.
So here's the point. Here's the point. If you save 10% on this, which is approximately what you're saving, round numbers, you have addressed 10% of the problem. You still have 90% of the problem to address. So if you want to do it, that's fine. But it's laughable that you think you did something.
Well, because if you save that $2,400, let's say we're saving
You didn't hear me.
over the next 5 years.
You're not listening. I just said 90% of the problem is still not addressed.
Got it.
You addressed 10% of the problem. This is the problem with debt consolidation. Because debt consolidation intellectually, psychologically triggers your brain and makes you think you did something.
Mm-hmm.
And you did do something, but it's only 10%. You still have 90% of the problem. And so we have to address this on a higher plane at a different level with a different approach. And if you want to do it, that's fine. But I want you guys working extra jobs, not seeing the inside of a restaurant unless you work there. I want you saying no more vacations, and we're on a written budget, and we're working together, and we're paying off these debts smallest to largest, and we sold so much stuff the kids think they're next.
Okay.
And when you get there, now you're addressing the 90%. If you also want to do the other, that's fine. But when people do what you're describing to me, they don't do the other, and 88% of the time they end up with more debt.
Then that's what I don't want.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm like, just keep hammering away at the credit card.
So what I would tell you is this. You got $30,000 worth of debt. If you can pay off $10,000 to $15,000 by June 1st, without doing this, then if you want to refinance the balance of it at that point, because you've proven to yourself you're willing to address the real problem, which is you.
Got it.
You are the real problem. Your husband is the real problem. Then you can do this. But I'm afraid that you're going to activate the part of your brain. Here's how you know, okay? The Bible says in the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So the way what we think comes out of our mouth if we're not real careful, okay? Including on the show. So here's what you said. You said, I'm going to pay off my debt. You're not. You're going to move
you're going to
move. You're going to move
borrowing
your debt.
it.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're borrowing to lower interest, which when you calculate
I know, but my point is your heart is feeling like you did something. Like I paid it off.
Right.
You didn't pay it off. You just moved it around a little bit.
Well, and I know that, and that's part of the thing. So one of the credit cards that we currently owe on, basically he's not paying anything on it, so that was going to kind of cover that too, because basically he pays $200 a month, but it's not taking anything off.
Pay minimum payments on everything but your smallest debt. Attack your smallest debt with a vengeance. Work extra, sell stuff. Don't go out to eat. Don't go on vacation. Work extra, sell stuff. Don't buy anything, and live on beans and rice and beans, where your friends think you've joined a cult, and your mother-in-law thinks you need counseling. And then what's going to happen is you can pay off $30,000, making $75,000 in about 18 months doing that, and that's approximately $2,000 a month.
Okay.
And you're a different person on the back end.
Right. I understand that. It's getting him to...
Do you remember... how old are you? How old are you, Michelle?
I'm 54.
Do you remember back in the early 80s when a diet was Tab and like a Nutrilite bar and a half of a grapefruit?
Yes.
That's what you're trying to do.
Right.
You're trying to shortcut and hack your way to this. Don't.
There's no hack. Yeah, I mean, you're right. Getting him to do the whole thing. Because here's what happened. Interest rates did not put you guys $30,000 in debt. Your decisions did. Interest rates are not keeping you in debt. Your decisions are. And so, again, I'm fine with you doing the refinance, the debt consolidation. It does make mathematical sense, but it addresses 10% of the issue. You've got to address the other 90% or you're not going to win. And I've done you a disservice unless I preach at you like this, because I love you and I want you to win. Thanks for calling. This is The Ramsey Show. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is our co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. #1 best-selling author of the book Own Your Past, Change Your Future. He is featured on this week's Jordan Peterson podcast. If you want to watch a long form on YouTube or listen to it, check it out. It just came out today, I believe. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Randy's with us. Randy is in Cedar Rapids. Hi, Randy. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, guys, I appreciate y'all taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
Hey, so I've been following y'all's program for a while now, and we've gotten to the point where I'm in baby steps 4, 5, and 6, and just not really feeling traction. And so my question for you guys is there something that I'm missing? I don't want to be just reactive to things, but proactive in some of this. So we have...
What do you mean you're not feeling traction?
Like, it's been a couple of years, and, like, life keeps hitting us. So, like, for example, we had what's called a derecho, which is basically an on-land hurricane of sustained winds of 180 miles an hour. So some stuff on an old house that insurance wouldn't cover that we had to prepare. We had 2 babies in the midst of this journey as well. So saved up for those and paid cash for all those things. We now have paid cash for both of our reliable cars now that we've upgraded. So
how old are you?
We've been investing 27, sir.
Wow, you're killing it.
Dude, this is called life, and you're winning it.
Yeah, I mean, I missed the part where you're not getting traction.
What are you talking about?
Babies, paid for storm repairs. I mean, you're rocking this.
We've been investing, 15, 20% now for a couple of years. And
your house paid for it?
Ross, not quite. So
then you should not be doing but 15%.
We have 5 years left on our.
Yeah, you should be doing 15% at baby step 4 onto your house. No more, not 20.
Gotcha. So dial that back.
And so you're gonna have a paid off house when you're 32. You know who would trade places with you?
Everybody.
A couple of 100 million Americans.
Yeah.
Let me. In all honesty, let me tell you what I think it is. You thought it would feel differently, and everyone I've ever sat down with, whether they are multi-millionaire or they're a pro athlete, they thought that there would be this resolution, that suddenly Dad would text out of the blue and be like, "Hey, I've never called you and told you I'm really proud of you. I want you to know I'm proud of you." That call's never coming. Right? Or that I was just going to wake up and suddenly like, I'm a good-looking guy. I feel great. That resolution never comes. And so then you're in a position, brother, where you're going to start doing dumb stuff if you continue to chase feelings instead of just stay in the path. Because you're going to start seeking feeling. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
And people rarely cheat on their spouse because of their spouse. They cheat on their spouse because it makes them feel alive again. They rarely go buy a new sports car because it's a great purchase, but it makes them feel alive for 5 seconds. And you're in danger of going down that road if you deviate from the path. That's why the path is so important, man, because it gives us something to lean on when we, quote unquote, don't feel right. That's why I map out my workout programs, because I don't feel like it in the morning, right? But I've already got it written out. Man, stay on the path. From 2 old guys way older than you, bro, you're
doing great.
So good, man. Stay on the path.
You're doing great.
How often have you heard that over the years?
Oh, it happens all the time. Yeah, when you get to baby step 4, it just slows down. It changes
like
from
the adrenaline's gone.
It changes from intensity
to life.
That is great to intentional, and intentional is not nearly as exciting as intensity.
Yeah.
And so intentional is a marathon. Intensity is a sprint. It changes everything. So, good call, Randy.
Man.
Thank you. When I started on the show here 30 years ago, and for the first 2 decades after that, one of the big pariahs on the college campus was they were getting college kids in credit card debt. Credit card people walking up and down the campus handing out free T-shirts and free pizzas and getting people in debt. Most of the states and college institutions have run the credit card people off the campus. They're somewhere within a block away doing that stuff, but they're not physically on the campus anymore. But we've decided to replace that with stupidity on steroids.
Hey, this is way worse.
This
man.
is way worse. This activates a whole bunch of other stuff. It's cray-cray.
This is unbelievable to me.
New York Times reporting how colleges and sports betting companies have Caesarized campus life. In order to reap millions of dollars in fees, universities are partnering with betting companies to introduce their students and sports fans to online gambling. They sold their students out. In September 2021, an official at Michigan State University's athletic department sent an email to his boss with exciting news. An online betting company was willing to pay handsomely for the right to promote gambling at the university. Alan, if we're willing to take an aggressive position, we have $1 million a year deal on the table with Caesars. Paul Shager wrote to Alan Haller, the university's athletic director. In the end, the company proposed a deal worth $8.4 million over 5 years. Other schools, too, have struck deals to bring betting to campus. After Louisiana State University signed a similar deal in 2021 with Caesars, the university sent an email encouraging recipients, including some students who were under 21 and couldn't legally gamble, to place your first bet and earn your first bonus. So far, at least 8 universities have become partners with online sports betting companies or sports books, many in the last year, with more expected. The partnership raises questions, however, about whether promoting gambling on campus, especially to people who are at an age when they are vulnerable to develop, and they're broke, and they're under your care. You freaking idiots! Unbelievable.
Dude, like Dave, I guess it's hard for me to catch my breath on this. This is the first time reading through this. This is insane. To my colleagues at universities across the country, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Yes.
And for those of you who've walked away from this, good for you for having some shred of decency. This is, God almighty, dude, the number of gambling addicts and this causes so much madness downstream for a couple of short-term bucks on the front end. It's disgusting.
Selling out your own students that you're supposed to be
selling out
for.
God almighty, dude.
You really ought to have your butts kicked up around your neck and be wearing them like a collar. This is unbelievable. This is unfreaking believable. LSU, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Michigan,
the
you ought to be
partnership
ashamed of
raised
yourself.
questions about whether promoting gambling on campus, especially to children, people who are vulnerable, fits the mission. I'll answer it. No.
There's not a question about it. This guy says it just feels gross and tacky for a university to be encouraging people to engage in behavior this addictive and very harmful, said Robert Mann, an LSU journalism professor. Thank you for standing up to your own university. Wow. Unbelievable. My university years ago, I took them to task, University of Tennessee, on the air because they sold out to a credit card company. Sold everybody's list, all the alumni, all the students, and big-time check. Got a big-time check to sign everybody up for the UT credit card. Yeah, like I need a Smoky in my plastic.
Hey,
piss me off, man.
I've struggled for years.
That cost them a little bit of a donation or two.
I've struggled for years with colleges who saddle up to alcohol companies when alcohol is so destructive across a college campus. And I've been all over the country having these conversations with campus life leaders and college presidents, everybody. This is, I think, worse.
Let me just tell you, here's the numbers. The number one addiction in North America today is not drugs. It's not alcohol. It's online porn.
That's right.
By far. Online porn generates more revenue than all professional sporting put together. The number 2 addiction in North America today, and fastest growing addiction in North America today, gambling, online gambling. And it's saddled in, it starts with the sports betting as a gateway drug. And I mean, if you want to do it and you're 50 years old and you got $10,000 just to piss away, that's fine. We'll just call you stupid. But when you're serving up your students and they're supposed to be in your care,
and they're going to pitch
you're a
it.
university president or an athletic department in a university, you ought to be fired for incompetence
Immediately for endangering your students.
Greedy SOBs. Unbelievable. Unconscionable. Unbelievable. Yeah, Caesar this. Oh my God. This is the Ramsey Show. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, host of the Dr. John Deloney Show, is my co-host today in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Ross and Abby are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Doing great.
Awesome. Pleasure to have you. Where do you guys live?
West Plains, Missouri.
Now, where is West Plains?
100 miles east of Branson.
100 miles.
I go to West Plains twice a year. I got some friends who live there, and they run a boys' ranch there in town.
Whetstone?
Yes. Look at that.
Yeah.
West
Very
Plains. Very cool.
Neat. Well, welcome. How much debt have you guys paid off?
$70,200.
All right. And how long did that take you?
30 and a half months.
30 months. All right. And your range of income during that 2.5 years?
It was $60,000 to $78,000.
Excellent. What do you guys do for a living?
I'm a pastor.
Mm-hmm.
And I work for a local State Farm agent.
Okay. Very good. And you are the numbers person, Abby. We know this because he's been pointing to you every time we ask a question.
She has it wrote down.
He knows how nervous I am.
Oh, okay. So you're not the numbers person?
No,
You're not? Oh, okay.
He deals with the spirit. She deals with the math.
Yeah, but he's dealing with them. She said he's the numbers guy. Okay, good. So what kind of debt was the $70,000?
Well, about 10% of it was be a combination of a health bill, we'll say, and auto loan. 20 to 30% of that would have been a school loan, and the rest of it was our house.
Oh, you paid off your house?
Yep.
Woo! Look at that weird people. How much is this house worth?
About 150 to 160.
I love it, and it's yours. How old are you guys?
I'm 31 and he's 35.
All right. Whoop, whoop. Not even 40 and you have a paid-for house. Y'all are so weird. I love it. Way to go. Fun, fun. Well, tell us this story. What got you guys fired up on this 2.5 years ago?
Well, originally we found out about your program through my dad, and we used to watch you on Fox Business when you had your show on there.
Yeah, back in the day.
And when we got married 11 years ago, they sent us through Financial Peace. And instead of the Dave plan, we was on the Ross and Abby plan for several years. But after we had our boy, and then I was going through Bible college, and about COVID, we decided, let's take care of this and start acting how we should. So we started in on it, January 1st, I guess is before COVID.
Okay, and then just in time for
Yeah.
COVID. We're going to get out of debt just in time. So what happened to your incomes during COVID?
I was able to work from home, so I didn't miss any work.
And I preached online, and they sent me a check every week. I never
there you
missed
go.
a check. So, yeah.
All right, that's good. Very good. Okay. So we kept moving all the way through it.
Yep.
And pushed on through even in the middle of all that weirdness. And, boy, it's strange, God's timing. That He wakes you up in January, and then they shut the world down in March, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of them deals that just worked out, and we was both kind of ready at the same time. And she jumped on board, and if I set out a plan, she'll pretty well go with me whatever I want to. So it works out good. So.
Okay. So you drug out the old Financial Peace and blew the dust off of it and went again, huh?
Yeah, went and listened to several of your shows currently, get caught back up and everything, and read through a bunch of books. And
What was the biggest disagreement y'all had?
Sometimes I would cut our food budget back to like next month we're not going to spend any money on food, just to see if we could. And she said, "Can we just set it and stop changing it? You know, I know you're excited, but that's probably the biggest one." So.
Yeah. We had the argument over the grocery budget one time, to the point that Sharon's so mad she's like, "Well, then you go to the store, stupid,
and buy all of our food for $11
since you think you can do it better. Have at it, Bubba."
So Ross, that
I'm
was
like,
a good
well,
answer.
I wasn't that serious.
That was a good answer from you, Abby. What was your biggest disagreement?
Probably when he would change the budget.
Okay.
I'd gotten used to a certain number, and then he'd go and change it. And I'd have to get used to a new one.
Yeah, and then you said, "I'm not getting used to this one. You're going to change it back," and then he did.
Yep.
Smart man. Good. Way to go, you guys. How's it feel to not have a payment in the world?
Feels pretty awesome. We actually had some. Our transmission went out in our van last week.
Of course.
And kind of freaked out about it, but we had our emergency fund, so we had the money to do it. But fight or flight at that time.
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't really want to let it go.
But we decided to go ahead and fix it. We don't like walking. So.
Yeah, walking it's a bit of a haul there. Yeah, very good, you guys. Very good. Very cool. All right, what do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is?
When I think of, sorry, go ahead.
Thank you.
She says don't give up. I think back to when you did your 2020 reset. I believe it was in Oklahoma City. You said you'll get out of debt eventually if you'd start borrowing money.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's pretty simple, and I'm kind of a simple guy, and that really set home with me. So I'd say stop borrowing money.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But that, and, of course, budget, as everybody always says.
Because it's always true.
Yeah.
Way to go, you guys. Very cool. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Think it'll change your preaching?
Give me plenty of things to think about and preach on. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, just the sense of freedom. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it just makes you more aware, more wise when you're looking over other people's pain because you've been through it.
Seeing what people's going through and understanding. Yeah.
Exactly. And sometimes it's compassion that you get from it. Yeah. Very good. I've got a friend of mine. He says he doesn't trust a man that doesn't walk with a limp. So having been through that stuff, and you've worked your way through this, it makes you, makes you aware. Very good. Good job, you guys. Great work. I'm proud of you. Very good. Hey, we've got the Live and Give bundle for you. That is the Total Money Makeover book for you to give away to someone. I'm sure you'll be counseling some young couple in church before you know it, since you're a young couple. And Baby Steps Millionaires for you. That's the next chapter in your story. We want you to learn how to do that and go ahead and plug that in. The new version of Financial Peace University. The membership to that is 1 year. And let's bring the kiddos up and introduce them. Give me their names and ages.
This is Tate. He's 4.
Mm-hmm.
And this is Hazel. She just turned 1.
All right. And she's a grandpa's girl, I can tell. She was sitting with her grandpa. That's a good girl. All right. Good stuff, you guys. Good stuff. You had good reasons to change. What was your why? Why was this so important?
Stewardship. Mm-hmm. We know we could do better and wasn't, and we all need to.
Yeah,
if we can do better, we should.
Managing God's resources for His glory. Yeah, good stuff. Proud of y'all. Well done, well done. Ross and Abby, Tate and Hazel, West Plains, Missouri. $70,000 paid off in 30 months. House and everything, baby. Woo! They are free. I love it. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
Ready?
One,
2,
two,
3. We're debt free!
Yeah! I love it! Man, the places you can go, the money you can save, the money you can give to help others when you live in West Plains, Missouri with a paid-for house and a $70,000 household income as a pastor, the things he's going to be able to do, unbelievable.
Yeah, there's seasons when that town, like many small towns across America, struggles, and man, being able to be a pastor that's free, wow.
Yeah, put you in a whole different mindset. That's way different than making $700,000 a year living in XYZ metropolitan area with debt up to your dadgum eyeballs and can't breathe. It's a whole different life, whole different quality of life, whole different quality of relationships, everything.
And a pastor that has peace radiating from inside, they can walk into people's hurt and walk into people's pain, and they just exhale, right? Instead of bringing their chaos with them, he's going to be able to walk into situations, she's going to be able to walk into situations, people are struggling, and they're going to feel that on them. It's incredible.
Yep,
What
powerful.
a gift.
And changes those little kids' life. Change your family tree, man.
Hey, little Tate, your dad's a hero. So is your mom.
Love it. This is The Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, Ecclesiastes 4:9 and 10. 2 people are better off than one, for they can help each other succeed. If one person falls, the other can reach out and help. But someone who falls alone is in real trouble. Dr. Henry Cloud says there is a difference between solitude and isolation. One is connected and one isn't. Solitude replenishes. Isolation diminishes. Ooh, that's good. Sounds like Dr. Cloud.
It sounds exactly like Dr. Cloud.
I love it. Good stuff. Hey, we're heading into the holiday season where our brains are focused on buying presents, thawing turkeys, and all the Christmas and New Year's celebrations. All of a sudden, it's January. And then we're behind on everything. Hey, it doesn't have to be that way. You can start the new year strong. Set yourself up to start the new year strong by joining us for Building Wealth Live here in Nashville, January the 12th. This is a one-night event. It's going to help you kick off 2023 feeling confident about your finances, even in this crazy economy. Rachel Cruz, George Camel, Ken Coleman, Dr. John Deloney, and me join us as we walk you through a simple, proven plan to be on track and actually build wealth in the middle of all this economy craziness. Our Building Wealth events have been a huge hit. We just wrapped up the sold-out fall season. It was incredible. Our January event will be here in the Ramsey headquarters. But we're also going to Indianapolis, Austin, Salt Lake City, and Anaheim here in the dates in the spring. All of these are available at $39 seats. Seats are limited. Be sure and check them out. Go to RamseySolutions.com/events. RamseySolutions.com/events. Neil is with us. Neil is in Chicago. Hi, Neil. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, thanks for taking my call, guys.
Sure. What's up?
Hey, so I am in baby step 2. And I just lost my dad a little bit over a week ago.
When?
And I'm just
when?
11 days ago.
Oh my gosh, Neil, I'm sorry.
What happened, Neil?
We don't know. One day we're talking about bringing my fiance out to go visit him, and the next day he's on life support.
Oh man, I'm so sorry.
Oh man.
What was his name?
His name was Carol.
Carol. Man.
How old was he?
67.
I'm
sorry, good man.
Yeah, it was a good man lost too soon.
Yeah, amen.
Absolutely.
So that brings you're on baby step 2. You and your fiance were supposed to go out to see him, and 11 days ago you get to deal with this for the last 11 days.
Yeah, and I've been working 40 to 80 hours a week for the past 2 years. I took out 2 student loans my first 2 years of college, but the last 2 years of college I worked full time at multiple jobs, and I was able to cash flow my career, my degree. So I've just been super good, so intense, feeling a little burnt out. But I think this is just pushing me over the edge. Just trying to.
Well, I don't know that it's pushing you over the edge as much as, yeah, you had intentionally so. You'd cut your margin
you
down.
got your knees kicked out from
And
under
then
you.
you
That's
got-
different
yeah.
than being pushed over the
This
edge.
was just a wipeout, man.
Yeah.
You should be feeling overwhelmed, and you should be feeling heartbroken, and you should be unable to eat and unable to sleep because your old man just passed away. Right? All those feelings are normal, man.
Yeah, you need to push pause
On everything.
on your baby steps.
Okay.
Do you have brothers and sisters?
Yeah.
Okay.
What about your mom?
Yeah. She's still alive.
Were they married?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have y'all had the funeral already?
No. I'm going out to California to see them in a couple days.
Okay. If you can, stay a few days and have some conversations with your siblings and with your mom. And you may have to have some direct conversations about what comes next and whatnot. But, man, push pause on the baby steps for right now, okay? This is a season of grief.
Okay.
It's going to be there for a while, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It would take normal people a little while to get over this, and I assume you're normal.
Yeah, I've just been, trying to stay positive and trying to work. And
Well, you're just trying to cope right now and drive your car.
yeah.
Put some bologna on the bread and eat. I mean, it's just you're going through the motions. You're still just breathe in and out. It hurts.
Yeah, I feel like if I just slow down, it's just gonna hurt more.
No, you're not. You can't pour water out of a glass that's empty, and yours just got emptied.
Your glass got shattered.
So give yourself a little grace. Breathe. If you're still talking
Okay.
like this in a year and a half, I'll probably have a problem with that. But you're not going to be that
Okay.
guy. Okay? But you need to take 30 to 60 days for sure and just breathe. Don't go buy something silly. Don't be going into debt or something like that. But in terms of working intense and paying off debt and being focused on all of that while you're going through one of life's most traumatic events, no, you take 30 to 60 off, man.
Here's something I want you to do. I want you to go to a Walgreens or a Walmart or something like that and buy a couple of sheets of nice paper. And I want you to write your dad a letter and tell him that you miss him. And in that letter, you can also be upset with him, be mad at him. You shouldn't have left. I don't even know what happened. And then also tell him about this fiance of yours, about what's coming down the road. Okay? And that might be a letter that you share with your siblings when you get together in a couple of days for the funeral. It might be a letter you share at the funeral. It might be a letter you share with your mom. But it's going to be a way for your body to process this. In conflict resolution, there's a saying, conflict deferred is conflict amplified. By not saying things that you need to say, it just makes it worse down the road. The same thing applies to grief. If you try to work really hard to try to avoid feeling how much this hurts, it's just going to turn into a cancer. And so the best thing to do is, like Dave said, take 30, 60, 90 days, exhale. You got to keep working. You got to keep eating. You got to keep sleeping. But fully lean into how bad this hurts. Your dad died, man. Your dad died. And nobody who has a good relationship with their dad is upright in this position right now, okay? You're right where you should be.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry to hear that, man.
Thank you.
I'm going to send you a copy of John's book, On Your Past, Change Your Future. I do not want you to read it until after Christmas, okay?
Okay.
But after Christmas, it'll help you with the final stages of processing, or the next stages of processing some of this. And, but how old are you?
23, just turned 23.
Yeah. So, how long have you been in Chicago?
For 5 years.
Are you plugged into a good church there by chance?
No, not really. Not.
Okay. You got some good friends in your life?
Yeah.
You need to make sure they know what's going on with you.
Yeah, I have coworkers that are, that know about it. They're picking up some slack.
Yeah. Okay.
But not just text messages. You'll need to go. You need to say, "Hey, I need to get some pizza tonight. Who's in?"
Yeah.
And y'all go sit and look at other people in the face. And you're going to find, because you've been working real hard the last few days, when you sit down and you actually exhale and you start looking at other people and they look back at you, you're going to get hit waves with heavy emotion, and don't run from that, okay? It's part of being sad. It's part of the grieving process. Everybody does it different.
Okay. I appreciate it.
Don't hide from this and don't hide from other people, okay?
Humans need humans, especially in times like this, brother. You call here anytime we can help you, okay?
That's right.
Check back in. Let us know how you're doing. Let us know how your mom's doing. If we can help her with any of this process, we will. It's one of the mandates on us, and so you just let us know anything we need to do, man. Hang on. We'll have Austin pick up and get you a copy of that book.
And Dave, that's a good reminder. As people head into the holidays, there's going to be a swath of people who sit down for Thanksgiving and there's somebody missing at that table. Somebody's at Christmas. There's going to be fewer presents under that tree. And it's okay if this isn't just the joyous season for you, right? If it's a season of grief and a season of sadness, a season of remembrance, that's part of the human experience.
Yep. Doesn't have to be all plastic and facade.
That's right.
That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Hey, it's John Deloney, co-host of The Ramsey Show. Did you know over 18 million people listen to The Ramsey Show every week? A lot of those people listen on one of our 600-plus radio stations across the country. To find a station near you, go to RamseySolutions.com/show.